Michael from Crazy LEDs, just showing you how to convert Astra H Zafira B heater panel. There's some gaps in the back, the blunt object, back panel pops off just like that. Using anything like this, just pop these little tabs out here. Careful with this one here. You do snap off. If it does snap off, it doesn't matter. It'll still go back together. It won't make any difference to the unit. Pay attention to the conductor pin that sits in there like that, and must, when you put it back in, fit into that hole to make contact. Put it over there. Rubber pads, just be careful you don't tear. Just peel them out. On this board, what you've got is a mix of, they're called Osram Power Top, but I use 0805 to replace them with, and you've got your standard 3528 PLCC4s. So I'll just start with removing the PLCC4s. I'm using a little bit of a wider chisel tip just to get two contacts at once. And again, just pop the LED off. That's one of the PLCC4s. Just going to swap a tip over into a thinner one to do the 0805s. On these Osram power tops, you'll notice there's a very small brown dot. The brown dot is usually closest to the negative. So we're going to just flicking these off. Clean the pad up as we're done. Try and be careful not to get any solder on the gold switch pads, because if you do, you're probably going to find the switch pad doesn't work, or really does take a lot of pressure to make the switch work. You don't want to get any solder on them if you can help it. If you do, try and get it off with a desolder wick or something like that as best you can, and then sand the solder down until you get to the brass again. So I'm just going over these little contact pads here with a little bit of flux on a brush just to get them cleaned up. Same with the 0805 pads, you can push over just to clean them up. If you wanted to go mad, you could use a solder wick and you could take every bit of solder off the pad, but it's just not needed. Right, we'll start putting the PLCC4s on. A little bit more flux on the contacts because it always helps. I think you'd really struggle to do this SMD work without flux. Again, if you get flux on the gold contacts, don't worry about that. We're going to clean it down with a bit of contact cleaner after we're done. PLCC4, get it lined up. And just tack one of them in place. Another one tacked in place. There's the last one tacked in place. So what I'm going to do is go around. So that's all the PLC C4s connected now. All the 0805s, the positive is the top contact, the negative is the bottom. Again, we're just tacking these in place. These ones are red, as the customer's requested. This is the positive. Positive again. And this side one is back to front. So that's your negative. Got the shakes to do. There we go. We're all done. I'll put it back together now. Put the rubber pads on. Use a fine point tweezer. Push it in place. Last one. One doesn't want to go in. That's finally in. Get that back together. Get the board, get it lined up. Make sure these pegs are all aligned. Clip it in place.